In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create your own one-person business in the age of AI in just minutes. Now we're going to do this all in ChatGPT, or you can do it in any LLM of your choice, but a big problem of getting the most out of AI tools is knowing the right questions to ask. And so this is going to give you the exact questions that you need to ask in order to create an actionable plan for your one-person business in the age of AI. If you don't know me, my name is Chris, and for the last 15 years, I've been designing apps and advising startups on product and design, and I believe the next wave of incredible businesses is going to be built using these AI tools. And with that said, let's get straight into it.
Build great product. Build great product.
So my kind of three-part framework for creating a solo business in the age of AI are these three areas. So firstly, we want to find a problem to solve. Secondly, we want to build a product or a service to solve it. And then third, we want to grow that product or service with AI. And we want to automate and leverage AI as much as we possibly can in order to make this a sustainable and compounding one-person business that we can grow over time. And so here's the kind of questions that we want to answer. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go through ChatGPT, and I'll show you how to set it up as a strategic advisor. And we'll ask it each of these questions to go through and identify a business that I could potentially start with my expertise and my skills. And you can use this exact same process for your expertise and your skills to kind of map out my business, what I would do, how I need to get customers, all of that sort of stuff, just using ChatGPT. You can use any LLM that you like. So you can use Claude or Grok or any other LLM that you want to use. So we're going to start off with figuring out how we can solve our own problems. So we get ChatGPT to help us identify a problem in our own work, our own life that we could solve. Or we can find problems in communities of people to solve, so we can also validate it with that. And what we want to look for is we want to look for boring and tedious things that we can make easier and help people make those things easier. So that's really a starting point, finding a problem to solve. The next part here is building a product or a service to solve it. And so this is all about validating the problem, making sure this is a good problem to solve, that this is going to be something that people are paying for. It's a painful enough problem to solve. We want to map out a one feature MVP, minimum viable product or minimum viable service. So what's the one thing that we're going to do? What's the one thing that our app is going to do that's going to solve that problem? And then we're going to build it with AI tools. So what AI tools do we need to build it? Well, if it's a service, we're going to need AI tools to help us to create a website, to create a brand identity. If we're building an app, we're going to use AI tools to actually build the front end and the back end of the app, and also probably create a brand identity for that as well. There's AI tools to help us build all of these things. And then last, we're going to use AI to automate as much of that as possible. We're in this incredible world now where you can use Make.com, NAN, Zapier, any of these automation tools almost to function like a back end for your app or for your business. They'll automate all of your processes for you. So if you're building an app and you're thinking, what functionality do I need? How can I actually make this work? Make.com or NAN is a really good starting point for that. And then we're going to grow that product or service with AI. And that means building in public, creating content to drive awareness, leveraging communities in order to go and speak to people who suffer from the same problem that you're trying to solve, personalized outbound, which is contacting people through cold emails, cold DMs, cold LinkedIn connection requests to find your first customers, and then keep posting, keep building, keep iterating, and don't be afraid to change if it isn't working. This is your blueprint for building a solo business in the age of AI. I've been running a design studio by myself for the last 4 years for early stage startups, and I have done so much of this stuff manually that if I was creating it now, it would take me so much less time to get it up and running and so much less time to find my first customers, and I would be delivering so much better results for those customers as well. So let's jump straight into ChatGPT and go through the chat so we can figure out what we're actually going to build here. So here is my strategic advisor in ChatGPT. Essentially, this is a project, so you can do this in Claude as well. Essentially, you want to set up a project and you want to give it specific instructions. These are my instructions here. They're not particularly long. You can be a lot more detailed than this, but this just really frames the context of the conversation that you're doing. And not a lot of people do this. I mean, businesses and stuff are starting to do this now to create kind of automated workflows for specific types of content, but I don't see a lot of people still doing this on like a personal level. And so what I would do is set up your folder, give it these instructions. These instructions were actually repurposed and a bit stolen from the We Are No Code channel. So if you've seen my other video on setting this up, you'll know where that's come from already. And thanks to them for creating that content. And what I would say you can do here is you can do this for any type of person that you want to speak to get advice from. It's not going to be the same as actually speaking to a person, obviously, but it will give you like 60 to 80% of the same results, and it's going to find gaps in your knowledge and help you uncover what you actually want to do much better than just doing nothing or trying to think about it yourself. And so amend this prompt based on what you want. So I've added in some amends here for myself, like help me grow in a way that is mindful and increases my quality of life. That's what I want to do specifically. So that really helps me do this. So what we're going to do here is just going to go back and forth between this framework for creating a solo business. And we're going to try and do it as quickly as we possibly can to try and find a solo business that I could run using my skills. And you can do this for your own skills. So solve your own problems is the first step. So let's do that. So let's say to ChatGPT, I'm looking to start a one-person business that leverages AI to have a big impact. I am a designer and a product expert. I've helped startups design apps and I know product strategy, and I've advised startups on product growth and product design for the last 15 years. I would like to map out my current workflows for designing an app that can raise millions of dollars and find gaps in that workflow or points in that workflow which are tedious or boring or repetitive to do that other people might experience that same problem as well. Can you give me 5 areas in my workflow where I might be doing tedious or repetitive tasks that I could then turn into an app or a service to create a one-person business from? So let's send that off and see what ChatGPT comes back with. And all you have to do here really is just to ask these right questions and give it the right context to give you the kind of best output. So here we go. We've got rapid prototyping and wireframe iteration. Rapid prototyping, the tools are kind of getting there, but I'm not 100% sure about this. So some of the stuff that's going to come back isn't going to be always great. But what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go back and forth with ChatGPT to figure this stuff out. And this has given me opportunities here as well. So an AI-driven prototyping tool that uses natural language input from stakeholders to automatically iterate wireframes, mockups, or visual concepts. So an idea here might be to create an app that helps founders to map out user journeys for features, but I don't think that's like a massive pain at the moment that's worth solving. Competitor and market analysis, AI-driven market intelligence dashboard, automatically monitors competitor activities, user reviews, pricing, synthesize key insights and opportunities. So I think there's maybe an idea in there of like automated competitor and market research. So if you're a founder and or if you're a business and you're doing competitor or market research, one of the problems with that is that... Quick break in the episode to talk about my community for people who are building apps with AI and actually want to make a profit. It's called the AI App Builders Academy. So if you're building an app using Bolt or Lovable or Cursor or any other AI tool and you actually want to make a profit, then this is the community for you. Inside, you'll get access to a community of other builders, weekly Q&As and demo days, and my full Product to Profit course covering everything you need to know to validate your idea, build your app, and then grow it from your first customers and beyond. You'll also get access to all of my startup frameworks from my 15 years experience of designing apps and advising startups on product and design. So if you're building an app with AI and you actually want to make a profit from it, head over to school.com/AI apps and join the community. I'll see you there. you do it once and it never sort of like updates over time. And so I think there's maybe a human in the loop kind of service business here to do, where you could use AI agent tools like Manus or Sooner to automate market and competitor research reports, generate updates on those every week or every month, and charge companies a retainer to send out those reports back to them and summarize the key insights. Now, companies can set that up themselves using these tools, but I think what's going to be different here is that I can leverage my own insight to kind of put those reports together in a way that's better than a company would be able to do themselves. And so that's a real key here to focus on. If you're building a business in the age of AI, in order to protect your kind of business from people just copying that and doing it with the same tools, think about how you can leverage your own knowledge, your own insight to create a better version of something with AI than someone else could do without your knowledge. Because the key with these AI tools is how you prompt them, what context you give them, and what you tell them to do. And that's going to be different from something else, and that's something that you can own. So product roadmap prioritization, AI-based product roadmap optimizer, there's tons. That's a really competitive market, so I'm not going to go into that. And if you're not sure about any of this, you can always ask ChatGPT as well, like say, how competitive is this market? Like, what would a product look like in that space? AI-powered qualitative feedback analyzer. So I like the idea of like conducting user interviews and then synthesizing that feedback. So maybe AI human in the loop, like AI powered user interviews, like as a subscription that companies could subscribe to get insights delivered back every month. So I like that one a lot. Pitch deck and presentation generation. I'm not going to do pitch deck creation because a million people are doing that. And I think less and less people are now pitching for traditional funding. Much more people are starting to bootstrap. So we kind of want to lean into that space. So I'm going to say like immediate next action, choose one area on this list that resonates most strongly. Okay, so I'm going to say like, let's do the user interview. So let's say I want to create a one-person business around human in the loop user interviews conducted with AI, sell it as a subscription service to companies, and provide a report on those user interviews every month that summarizes key insights and can have an input from those companies as to what they want to perform those user interviews around as well. And those interviews will be conducted using AI tools. So now we've put that in there as well. I want to go back to here and say like, look for communities, look for problems in communities of people. So this is also like a boring and tedious problem that we're solving as well. Synthesizing user interview feedback takes ages. It's horrible. I have to read through them. No, I can't do that. My attention span isn't good enough. Let's say I'm going to turn on search the web here and say, can you search Reddit and find out if this is a common problem that people are experiencing around it taking a really long time to figure out the insights from user interviews? So now we've done that next step there in ChatGPT. So it's searching the web. You can see there, yep, this is a well-documented pain point on Reddit. Leave 3 to 4 hours of analysis time for every 1 hour of interviews. That sounds horrible. I mean, I'm a product designer and that sounds like a lot of time. You can't spend that much time as a startup a lot of the time. 2 times the session length to analyze. That is crazy. Okay, so this is a really good pain point and we can definitely do this. We can definitely solve this. I think, and this is giving you, if you do search web, this is going to give you links to those validation as well. So now we're moving on to this next thing, which is like starting to validate our problem. And so we've gone on to this step, build a product and solve it. So validate your problem first. Okay, map out a one feature MVP. So we validated the problem exists. You could validate it in other ways as well, but I'm just going to do this really quickly here to show how quickly you can go through and map out a business plan, a one-person business using AI. So we want to map out a one feature MVP. Okay, so I want to do this as a service style subscription where companies pay a set amount per month, and then we use AI tools to conduct user interviews with their target ideal customer and synthesize those results, those interviews into actionable insights that company can then take away, can you help me identify the one key selling point that I need to highlight for this subscription to be appealing to small to medium-sized business? And I want to go for small to medium-sized businesses here because they're often the ones that lack the user interview insight. So here we go, like speed is critical. 61% of researchers, increasingly recruiting participants has become increasingly time consuming. So people don't want to spend time recruiting participants. That's great. Most don't have full-time researchers or the budget to hire agencies, which are very expensive. So that's a really, really good selling point for this. Spending effectiveness matters, so they need to be clear on the ROI that they're getting for this as well. For small to medium businesses, much more sensitive to pricing. Frame your service as a handoff. You define who to interview, we run it, synthesize it, deliver clear, actionable insights, all in under 1 week. I'm going to change that to 1 month because we want it on a 1 monthly basis here. We can do the first version in a week, so maybe that makes sense without you needing to lift a finger. Get monthly insight reports, real conversations, great. So it's breaking down here, messaging, supporting proof points of this, the key things I need to highlight in the value proposition. Here we go. And it's given you like, this nails the 3 core objections small, medium businesses that often have: budget, time, and expertise. So we're solving that. Perfect. And this is done search web as well. So this is like searching the web to figure out those answers. You can have this turned on or off at any point during the chat to kind of make those answers better. So let's say, let's turn search off and go, can you map out the things that I would need to start setting up this business, i.e. a landing page, and what other tools would I need to set up to get a minimum first version of this set up? So let's ask ChatGPT to help us define what this is. So this is like mapping out our one feature MVP. So essential setup, landing page and payment. So we're going to need a landing page, which we can do. It's suggesting tools here. I actually think Framer would be a better shout to start off with than Webflow, but that's just personal preference. Stripe or Gumroad for payments. We're going to go with Stripe. That's pretty much industry standard. Interview, scheduling, Calendly. So we need something to like schedule a call that we're going to put on the website. AI interview assistant, ChatGPT plus prompt engineering. I think there are tools out there that could do this better. We could also do synthetic user interviews by telling ChatGPT to pretend as the ideal customer profile, interviewing ChatGPT, and then synthesizing those insights into a report using Manus and then sending that report back. That could also work really well for small to medium-sized businesses, and I think they would pay like a minimal fee for that as well. And you could turn that around very quickly and have a lot of customers on that. Recording plus transcription, so we could do like some sort of voice transcription. You could deliver it in like a podcast. You could deliver the insights in a podcast, could be interesting. AI analysis tools, they've got some there. Tag and summarize key themes. So there's already tools out there that's kind of doing that. And report generation, Notion, Google Docs. And what we can do here as well is we can actually automate this entire journey with make or NaN. We can say like, okay, when the input is this, then basically, where would we start? So we go, input is this, like put in the prompt into ChatGPT, ask it this many questions, or like create a list of questions, go back to ChatGPT, put in this prompt to talk to it as if it's this role, talk to it as if it's that role, send the insights over to like one of these tools, synthesize those insights, generate the report in Notion, send me a Slack notification when that report has been generated, and then that can also be like automatically sent to customers every month basically. And that is where like your leverage point is going to become really, really important using AI, because you can automate this entire process, almost 80 or 90% of it, just using AI tools with a very, very small amount of human in the loop kind of input from you. So we've got loads here. We've got a tool stack summary, what tools we need, post-launch checklist. So here we go, choose name, secure domain, set up a simple landing page, integrate Stripe, Critical leverage points: keep simplicity at the forefront, validate quickly, leverage AI heavily, perfect your messaging. So one thing I would say off the back of this list, it's really easy to get overwhelmed by all of these tiny little things that you're going to be doing. You want to move fast, you want to test it quickly, and we want to test it with real customers. So let's go on to, we've figured what tools we're going to use. We've figured out how we're going to automate that with Make and with NAN. And if you're interested, I can go through a video of how you would do that. If you just leave a comment down below, and I can put a video together showing you like how you would set up a service like that in Make or NAN. We'll go on to Grow now. So how do you actually get your first customers? So number one, build in public, share a goal, and let people follow progress. So let's go over here and go, great, that's a perfect plan. What I want to do now is I want to share the progress of building this business in public with people on social media. And I want to do that in a daily format where I show people how close I'm getting to my goal of enabling 100 companies, 100 small and medium-sized businesses to get user interview insights that are as good quality as an enterprise company. Can you break down some examples of some posts that I might share on social, specifically X, that's gonna get people's attention and help and get them interested in following my journey? So we're going to send that off to ChatGPT now. Let's see what it comes back with. What I would do here, maybe instead of using ChatGPT, is jump over to Grok, because Grok is really good at analyzing X because it's built on X. It can see all of that information, and it gives you really good trend analysis and ideas of around what's happening on X at the moment. So here we go. We've got, this is my goal. So one key thing here about building in public is you want to have a goal. You want people love to follow stories, and we all want to know the end of the story. So what is your goal? This is something that Greg Eisenberg highlighted on one of his videos recently as well, which I think was a really, really good point. And so we've got examples here of how to do it. So post categories, rotate these dailies, behind the scenes insight. So how you're building, how do you find customers? Finding the perfect interview prompts took longer than expected, iterating 10 times today alone. So showing actual progress, how you're building these prompts. Today I tested my AI-driven user interview prototype for the first time, got insights in 90 minutes that used to take a week. 2 businesses now onboarded, 98 to go. Okay. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that whilst you're going through this plan, you can actually be getting all of your ideas for how you build and grow this all from ChatGPT. Like, if you're struggling to think about how do I create a one-person business, how do I create a business in the age of AI, I don't even know what ideas to start off with. You don't need to have an idea. Go to ChatGPT, start a conversation. It will find the ideas for you, and it will help you map out all of this information about what you need to do. We've even got an example weekly schedule here, tips for maximum engagement, all of these different types of content that you can do. So now we have a content plan for how we're going to build attention around building in public. We've got content creation, which is organic content. Let's go back to ChatGPT and say, can you also create me some ideas for titles of long form videos that I can do on YouTube around this goal and to build attention for this business? So now it's going to create us some ideas for long form content. If we do long form, what I really like to do is to create one long form piece, 1 or 2 long form pieces per week, and then split them down into smaller bits of content that you can post across different platforms. So here we go, building a profitable AI insight service from scratch. So you can already see how you could start to be like recording videos and content around this idea to start to get customers. So here we go, what 50 user interviews taught me about building. This is giving you all the ideas, and if you don't like these ideas, you can keep going back and forth with ChatGPT to iterate. So let's now do communities. So we also want to know, like, where are communities of people that might be suffering this problem that we can go and start to engage people in and create real relationships with, so we can actually start to get our first customers and create a feedback loop and iterate this business. So let's go back to ChatGPT, turn on search the web and go, can you tell me 10 subreddits that I should be engaging with in order to learn more about customers who experience this pain and to build a relationship with my ideal customer persona? So now ChatGPT is going to search the web. It's going to go to Reddit and figure out where do we need to start engaging with people. Okay, so we've got r/user experience, UX design, research ops, SaaS. So this is giving you those places that you need to start engaging in order to start, and it even gives you an engagement strategy here. So start with lurking, share value, ask for feedback. So again, if you don't know this, it's going to give you the instructions of exactly what to do, especially if you're using this strategic advisor prompt. Personalized outbound. Let's do personalized outbound as the last one here, and then we have our plan for building our one-person business, our AI-powered user interview insights package for small and medium businesses. Let's create an amazing outbound email template here to send to people to try and bring in some more customers. Can you create a cold outbound email template to send to potential customers using an automated service like Instantly that I can personalize further using additional data from LinkedIn or the latest post that they made? So when it comes to automated outbound, now we have AI. What the best practice for automating outbound marketing and cold email is to highly personalize email and message content. And so here we go. It's given us like an email template and quick idea for how company name gets faster insights. I saw your post about topic, spot on. Most product teams I talk to say user interviews take way longer than they should. That's why I launched the service. One small team I work with cut their insight from 2 to 72 hours. So obviously you've got to be careful here that this isn't saying stuff that you're not actually doing, but you can literally just take these templates, put them into a tool like Instantly, and you've got your automated outreach for cold email. And so now we have our full and like startup business plan. If you want to here, what I would probably do is like, can you create a detailed customer persona for this service so that I can better target them across social media and in my marketing? Is to then create an ideal customer persona for this so that I know exactly who I'm targeting here. So we've got our idea, we've got it, we've got that idea from our existing skills and our existing processes that we do. We have experience in that area. We validated that idea across communities. We created an MVP initial product for this offering. We figured out how to automate it with AI. We came up with a bunch of ways of engaging through organic content across social in order to bring attention and build in public. We created automated outbound marketing templates. We created long form video ideas around this content. And we've got our ideal customer persona. So we've got everything. We've literally got everything here we need to create a one-person business in the age of AI, and we did it under half an hour. And so with that said, let's get into the final thoughts. So that's it. It's as simple as that. In under 30 minutes, you've gone to ChatGPT or whatever LLM you want to use, and you've created an entire plan for your one-person business in the age of AI, all automated, all mapped out, all solving a problem, all validated. It's got everything there that you need to get started to build your own one-person business. Hopefully that's been useful, and hopefully there's some things that you can learn from that. And if you have any questions at all about the process or the content in the video, just let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to click like and subscribe. And as usual, you can get all of my startup frameworks and blueprints by signing up to my newsletter over at buildgreatproducts.com. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Build great products. Build great products.